The new Electoral Act 2026 has introduced a significant change in how political parties select their candidates. Under the new provision, parties now have only two options. Our focus tonight will be on the Electoral Act 2026 and the growing concern among political parties. We will examine this major shift that could determine not just how or who win election in 2027, but who will be on the ballot. We will be answering these basic questions. Are direct primaries realistic in Nigeria today? Or are they already collapsing under the weight of cost and logistics? Across the political landscape and spectrum, we will examine one basic and major trend that is becoming clear. Many parties may be forced to abandon direct primaries and embrace consensus, not by choice, but by necessity. Good evening and welcome to this week's political update on Trumpet TV. I am your host, Oba Silva. The 2026 new Electoral Act introduced a significant change in how political parties now select their candidates. Under this new provision in the Electoral Act, parties now have just two options in the selection process: direct primaries or consensus. The earlier system of indirect primaries, where a limited number of delegates decide candidates, has now been removed. Let us examine these two options and see the effect it may have on our electoral process. Direct primary require every registered members of a political party to participate in a selection process. Voting must be done across thousands of wards nationwide. Results are collated from ward level down to the national level. The intention is very clear: to deepen internal democracy and reduce manipulation by powerful elites. The second option is consensus. Here, all the aspirants must agree to step down for a favored single candidate. This agreement must be well documented, ratified through a formal party process. However, the law introduced a strict condition. Even if one aspirant refuses to step down, the party must then revert back to direct primaries. Well, on paper, this framework appears simple and democratic, but in practice, it presents serious challenges. Nigeria have over 8,000 political wards. Conducting direct primary means organizing voting simultaneously across all of these locations. These involve transportation, materials, deploying officials, and ensuring proper monitoring. It also requires a verified and credible membership register. For many parties, this is where the first problem begins. Several political parties do not have an updated, reliable membership register database, and the new online registration have not yet been tested. Without this, conducting a credible direct primary becomes extremely difficult. There is also the issue of coordination. Managing such a nationwide exercise demands strong institutional capacity. Even for a well-established political party, this may be a complex task. For smaller ones, it is far beyond their reach. But beyond logistics, the financial burden is significant. Direct primary require printing of ballot material across all wards, deployment of staff and agents nationwide, security arrangements to prevent disruption, transportation and communication infrastructure are well important. When these are combined, the costs run into billions of naira. Well, yes, for major political party, it may be a heavy commitment, But what about the smaller one? It may be near impossible. This is where the debate becomes more urgent. A law designed to deepen democracy unintentionally created a barrier for participation. Parties with limited resources may find themselves unable to comply fully. Faced with this reality, many parties are now turning towards consensus arrangements. Consensus offers a simpler option. It reduces costs, it limits internal conflict, and it allows parties to meet electoral guidelines without logistic strain. However, consensus comes with its own concern. Critics have argued that it can be used to impose candidates. They also warn that it may reduce internal competition and weaken democratic choices within political parties. However, supporters on the other hand see this as a practical solution in a challenging environment like Nigeria. The All Progressive Congress have provided a useful example in this regard. In the recent Congress and internal processes, the party relied heavily on consensus arrangements. In many cases, candidates have emerged through arrangement rather than any form of open contest. This approach has allowed parties to avoid costly and contentious primaries. It also helped maintain internal cohesion in certain instances. For supporters, this is evidence of strategic planning. However, for critics, it raises questions about transparency and inclusiveness. But one more fact remains. Consensus have proven to be workable under this current condition. As parties prepare for 2020 general election, the choices between direct primaries and consensus will shape their strategy. Direct primaries will offer legitimacies and broad participation, but that comes with huge costs and logistical demand. Consensus, on the other hand, offer efficiency and speed, but it requires trust and arrangement among aspirants. So, for many political parties, the decision may not be just ideological, it may be practical. They will have to choose the option that allows them to survive, organize, compete among themselves. Across the political landscape, there are growing calls for flexibility. Analysts have argued that parties should be allowed to adopt methods that align with their capacity rather than forcing them with just two main options. Some others suggest that regulatory bodies should provide clearer guidelines to support implementation. Others believe that the law itself may require further review immediately after the 2027 general election cycle. The Electoral Act 2026 have introduced important reform, but it have also raised difficult questions. 1. Can Nigeria sustain nationwide primary? Or will consensus become a dominant model, not by design, but by necessity? As the political season unfolds, this question will move from theory to reality. Nigeria watch carefully to see how this will test and how this test will actually run out. And the outcome and the answers from this experiment will further deepen the future of Nigerian democracy. Thank you so much. This is all we have for this week. Thank you for keeping date with us on Political Update on Trumpet TV. And until next week, I will bring you yet another major issue that is affecting our politics. I remain your host, Oba Silva. Good night.